So the objective of this session is to introduce to you the importance of design as a discipline, not only as a discipline, but also the opportunities that you have if you become a designer. See, most of you have your own choices. As of now, you have a choice that you want to become an architect or you want to become a product designer. Discovering what you are good at takes time. Okay, so this presentation is going to tell you to actually try to discover what you will be good at. You may think that you are going to study architecture or whatever, but you need to really discover what you are good at. So what we have been doing here is to try to train you in skills which are essential to become a designer. And once you develop the skills, you will really know what you are really good at. So what we are going to do today is that I will introduce you to all the design disciplines and the skills required to become a designer. Okay, so I'm going to talk not on architecture, not on product design, not on fashion design, but all of it, and calling it as one single discipline called design. Design as a career. What I'm going to tell you is that it is actually a way of life. Designing is a way of life. Yeah, design as a career, and design actually is a way of life. This is what you have to realize. And this is why we are giving you a training for you to understand that it is not something to be learned. Design is not something to be learned, but it has to become a way of life. By way of life, I mean that you should keep doing things. There's no fixed time to design. There's no fixed time to sketch. You should be always in the mood to sketch, to draw. You get an idea, you should have a sketchbook with you. Develop your skills in so many different ways, not necessarily when we tell you to do something. The idea is that our objective is to just introduce you to the skills required to become a designer. After that, it is entirely up to you to create your portfolio. Last time I had a session on making your portfolio with you. The objective was to make you understand that you should keep working, keep working. The more you work, better your skills will become, and these skills will actually take you forward. You see, this design is the only discipline in which the certificate doesn't help. I'm telling you this, 100% your degree certificate will not help. You do engineering, you do medicine, you do any other discipline. When you apply for a job or you go anywhere, you have to show your degree certificate. You have to show your mark sheet. And based on that, you are given a job, your performance or your degree. In design, if you show your design certificate, nobody will give you a job. They will put the certificate aside. You may be a topper or you may be a bottomer. They will not ask you for your certificate. Any design field, they will ask you your portfolio. They will want to know what you are good at. Show what you are good at. So your skills become more important than your certificate. So there are hundreds and thousands of cases where a very, very average student with an average score gets a better job as a designer because he or she is very creative. So creativity has nothing to do with your capacity to learn, but your capacity to develop your skills. So this is what we are going to focus, and we will look at what is this creativity, what is this capacity to do things. Now, if you just sit and think, every human being wants to do something. There is an urge to make things. It is a human urge. Compare yourself with all kinds of other animals in this world. The only other creature who makes something is a bird. Birds make nests. You have seen them making nests. But do you know of any other creature who makes something? Of course, rats and some creatures burrow holes in the ground. They remove soil. But really creatively making an object and using it, only human beings and birds. Birds create an object called a nest and they use it. So similarly, it is only human beings who do things, who make things. They make useful products. And before making the products, they think, they take some materials, work with it, design, and then right from the beginning of civilization, this has been happening. And anything that you see in this world other than natural objects, be assured that it is made by somebody, some human being. So look at everything that you have. You are living in a house. You have so many things in your house. Everything, garments, tools, toys, gadgets, including the food you eat is also designed food. You see, you get raw material, and in your kitchen, your mother cooks something and designs something, and that designed product is what you consume as food. So designing is an urge which exists only in human beings. Other than birds, among all the animals, it's only human beings who design things. So that means that you are into a very unique kind of discipline. It is a universal discipline. Designing is a universal activity, irrespective of which part of the world you belong. Everyone designs something or the other. So if you look at this discipline as a larger domain, you can divide this discipline into several parts, like architecture, landscape design, product design, interior design, furniture design, fashion design, jewelry design, textile design, web design, stage and film set design, and then animation design. And there are so many newer fields which are emerging as part of today's design discipline. Okay, I'm going to tell you step by step about each of these disciplines. I'm telling you this for benefit of all of you, not necessary that you are studying only for architecture. You may be studying fashion design, but you should also know something about architecture. If you feel like, you can even change over and join architecture if you think that you are fit for this. So I'm going to tell you briefly about each of these disciplines. Architecture is the science of building. That means it is the science and the technology involved in designing and constructing building. It's also called an applied art because you need a lot of artistic skills also, in which you create something which is very useful in nature. Utility means usefulness. That means a building which you create has to be useful. If it is not useful, it is not convenient, then it becomes a useless design. So it's a very important science of building or construction. Okay. And it is perhaps the oldest technical discipline. You see, if you wonder what the first human beings did, all first human beings did was hunting. They were hunting for food. But after hunting for food, what they did? You can't say that they became fashion conscious and made clothes for themselves. No. After hunting for food, their only objective was to find a shelter. So initially they found shelter under trees and in the caves and such places. But when it came to protecting themselves, protecting the babies which are getting born in the clan or groups in which human beings are roaming the earth, they wanted a protected environment. So that is how the first discipline actually in this world is architecture, because to create a shelter became, so discovering a shelter like cave or creating a shelter by using some twigs and some leaves and all that and protecting yourself from rain and sun became an activity which is the first human activity. So architecture as a profession is the oldest technical discipline, which actually justifies the existence of man on earth. If you say human beings are there on this earth, the best example is architecture anywhere in the world. Wherever there is a building or a house or a shelter, it means that human beings are living there. So, and from very humble hutments to what all human beings have created by way of architecture. So the most important ability today that you need to become an architect is technical drawing skills, manual drawing skills, and CAD based representation. CAD means computer aided design and drawing presentation techniques. These are the things which you should know to become a practicing architect, in which some simple things we are teaching you: freehand sketching, coloring skills, etc. But computer applications is also extremely important. The earlier you learn, the better it is. So if you look at our country, we focus on our country. 860, more than 860 schools of architecture are there in India today. So this is 2021, and you can imagine more than 860 schools of architecture are there. In 1973, when I joined architecture, there were only 17, that is 17 schools of architecture in the whole of India. It was, the discipline was not very, nobody even knew about it, but people went for architecture as a discipline. Now today there are 860, all approved by Council of Architecture, and Council of Architecture conducts these tests, NATA and JEE, as a national aptitude test, based on which only you can get admission. During our time, none of these tests were there. You take admission because you want to study the course. It was like that. So this is an important thing. And so this means that all of you, those who want to study architecture, even those who are just studying design, should also keep taking a look at the website of Council of Architecture, because these days many new things keep coming and you must frequently visit these websites. See, you are studying for +2 and that should remain the most important objective as of now. If you have decided to study design, you don't have to really worry about getting admission, because if you are talented, you will definitely 100% get admission in any school if you are little talented, if you have the skills. So you should focus on +2 study. It is very important. Do not ignore your +2 study. In +2, getting the highest possible score becomes important for admission, because weightage is given for +2 marks and +2 performance when you apply for a design course, along with the skills in design. So skills design, they have this aptitude test to test your aptitude for design, but +2 is very important. So that is why I keep telling you that take it as a hobby. Studying, preparing for design course should be a hobby rather than a compulsory activity every day or every week. Just enjoy yourself and keep doing sketching and coloring exercises. So that was architecture as a discipline. Let's come to other disciplines like landscape design. Landscape design is actually has developed as an extension to architecture, but not necessary. If you're studying botany, you can become a landscape designer. It is related to designing gardens, outdoor gardens and indoor gardens, basically gardens and outdoor and indoor. So even a botany student or a horticulturist or someone who is learning gardening can become a landscape designer. But what happens in pure landscape design is that buildings are also part of the landscape. So it makes sense that if you have interest in gardening and plants, that you study architecture first and then do masters in landscape design. There are no bachelor's course in landscape design. There is only master's course in landscape design. So if you want to do landscape design, you can do horticulture and then do landscape design, but it makes sense that you do architecture and then do landscape design if you are interested in garden design. So designing gardens, outdoor and indoors. So what are the skills required? You should again have good drawing and rendering skills, presentation skills, because drawings you have to make of gardens and objects in the gardens, buildings and surroundings. How will you design those spaces? So it's a combination of architecture and garden design, landscape design. So here also you need very good drawing and rendering skills. So there is a lot of scope for designing resorts, hotels, outdoors of resorts, hotels, institutions, urban areas, designing in a new way all these spaces. So landscape design as a special course is actually offered as a postgraduate course in School of Planning and Architecture, not only Delhi, but other SPAs also, as well as CEPT Ahmedabad. There are other schools of architecture also which now are offering master's course in landscape design. Let's come to now product design. Many of you are preparing for product design. Now, product design is a fairly specialized discipline because there is no one product which is for which you learn to design. Anything from a small pin to an aircraft. Imagine from a small pin that you use, a safety pin that you use, to an aircraft, everything is a designed object. So as a product designer, you may design any of this. You may become, as you become more and more capable and a professional, you may get to design any of these objects. You may design automobile, you may become part of a team which designs aircraft and so on. So it is generally, usually product design is for designing day-to-day objects which are industrially produced, not just one item, but must be mass produced. And you can also become a custom made product designer, like you create special products for special people. That is also possible. But first you have to qualify in this discipline called product design. And what all you do once you become a product designer, simply not designing on paper. You have to actually make a prototype. Prototype means you have to make a sample always. So if you're designing a car, you cannot be simply saying that I'll draw the car and that's it. No, you have to actually make and test a prototype. So if you're designing a mouse, for example, or a keyboard, new type of keyboard, even if you're designing a different type of pencil, you have to make a prototype and test it. You have to do a market study to see whether it will sell or not. If you put the product in the market, whether it will sell or not. So these are the things which are taught in product design course. How to design a concept, how to develop the concept, how to execute the concept, how to make the prototype, how to market the product, whether the product will get marketed or not. And behind the product design, there are so many issues which are taught, that it should have international looks. People from all over the world should be able to appreciate the product. Ergonomical design means ergonomics is the science of human body. I mean, it should be very comfortable for human beings to use. If something is handheld object, your hand should feel comfortable. Say, for example, a pen should be comfortable to hold and write, or a keyboard should be comfortable for two hands to work with all the fingers. So if a knife should be comfortable to hold and cut in different angles. So these are all ergonomical aspects. A chair should be comfortable to sit, and so on. And of course, economics becomes a very important aspect of product design. Economical. That means you are going to mass produce the object. So how to make it economical, how to make a product cheaper and cheaper. So that is the objective of a product designer. So you learn fundamentally drawing and coloring and sketching and making drawings, but behind this particular discipline, there is a lot of other inputs which go on to make you a product designer. Then another important thing is that if a product is not user friendly, it will never get acceptance in the market. User friendly and safe also. A product has to be safe, a product has to be user friendly, and a product should be long lasting also. In addition to this, it should be affordable. So these are all important issues based on which a product is designed. So that is product design as a discipline. And so many varieties. You can't be producing only one type of product and try to sell in the market. Look at these products. How many varieties of shoes are available in the market? In spite of these varieties, more new varieties come. How do they come? Because there are designers who develop new ideas for designing shoes. So designing a cup, designing a bottle, designing a water heater, or designing a chair, and every object, any object that you see in your house, if you look at objects that you have, there's so many varieties of products, different varieties. And when you go to buy something, you're always attracted to the looks first, but you don't really buy it because it looks good. You check it, you test it, you look at the comfort of it, you look at the price of it. So these are all very important aspects of learning product design and the way products are to be produced, marketed, and so on. So let us look at which are the courses. BDES is the course. It is called as BDES, Bachelor of Design. This was a unique course which was happening only in IIT Bombay many years ago. Today, BDES as a course is available not only in IITs, but NITs, IITs, different IITs, Indian Institute of Science, National Institute of Design, and many private institutions also have this as a course, BDES, that is Bachelor of Design. And including NIFT, NIFT, which is a fashion technology school, and other fashion technology schools and product design schools all have a running Bachelor of Design course. So even architecture schools have started Department of Bachelor of Design. So if you are preparing for a particular course, don't assume that you will join just that course. Try to inquire what courses are available in different colleges related to design. And if you BDES, MDES, Master of Design course is there after Bachelor of Design course in most of these IITs. It's a very challenging course. One thing I must tell you about this is after first year, this tends to become a totally laboratory and workshop oriented course because you have to make prototypes. Lot of hands-on work is there. You have to learn carpentry, you have to learn welding, you have to learn plastic extrusion, and so many other materials, how different materials are created and molded, etc. You'll have to learn in workshops. So that is a very challenging thing about product design. Whereas in architecture, you have to go to construction site. You have to see how construction is done, how building is constructed. So that is the challenge which is there in product design. Then let's come to interior design as a discipline. This is a course which is actually, you can say it is an extension of architecture design because interior designing is done inside buildings, inside spaces. It is associated with architecture, but it has also become a standalone separate discipline also. Today, interior design is taught in other than architecture schools as a discipline, because when architecture is existing, that is when a building is ready, then interior designers move inside to design the interior. So this is also treated today as a separate discipline. There is a lot of scope for interior design, but one very important quality you should have is you should have excellent sense of aesthetics and sense of color, sense of material. Otherwise, you cannot really, because it is the interior of a building which has to be extremely appealing, comfortable compared to the exterior of a building. The exterior of a building can be uniform because it has to take care of external climate like sun, rain, and so on. But the interior is not like that. Interior is to be taken care of for comfort, for physical comfort, for mental comfort, for happiness, for your color sense and your likes and dislikes. So interior designer's job is quite challenging because you have to be a very, very artistic kind of person. And interiors can be of variety of types. For example, not only house residence interiors, hotels, offices, shopping malls, all kinds of public spaces, auditoriums, theaters, they all need interior design. So you may, once you become an interior designer, you may specialize in something. You may become a expert at interior design of hotels or offices and so on. So there is a wide variety of scope for interior designer. Okay. Then comes furniture design. I am telling you this as a separate discipline because you can say that it is part of product design because furniture is a product, but it is also part of interior design because furnitures are used in interior. So furniture design has evolved as a new discipline coming out as a part of product design and also as a part of architecture and interior design. There is no separate degree course for furniture design, but it is best learned by architects or interior designers who also learn product design. There are master's courses to do furniture design. So it is a combination of several things because this design discipline is related to making good looking but extremely comfortable and very functional, lightweight and portable type of furnitures. So in the olden days, there was only one furniture designer called a carpenter. If you look at your grandfather, even not parents, even grandparents, they knew only carpenter as a person who designs furniture. No, there's no one available anywhere. Only carpenters knew how to design furniture. But today, carpenters are not the only persons. There are all kinds of people who design different types of furniture. So you can see from these images the variety of design ideas which designers get to create different kind of innovative type of furniture which is ergonomically comfortable and not expensive, affordable, and can be easily made or fabricated, etc. So one of the most important part of furniture design is the subject called ergonomics. I keep telling you about this comfort level of a human body. And when you say human body, right from small babies to old people, how their body has to adjust to furniture becomes very, very important. You know, if you don't design properly a furniture, people can develop problems, back problem, neck problem, and so on. So furniture design is a very, very important discipline related to human body and its needs. So, and there is no special course. Once again, it is part of product design. And if you're an architect or interior designer, you can easily pick up this because you need drawing skills and visualization skills and also knowledge of materials and how to use different materials to create objects. Now let's come to, so these are all related disciplines. You must have noticed architecture, landscape, product, interior, furniture, they were all related to creation of objects and spaces which people use, all types of people use. Now we are coming to a special field, which is actually is not part of architecture or spaces or interior, but it is part of human body and also part of sense of aesthetics and human ergonomics. That is called fashion design. Uh, Clothing is something which had once again, after human beings perhaps created shelters first, the next thing they thought of was covering themselves because to take care of the changing climate. Extreme heat, extreme cold, etc. makes you look for objects to cover yourself. So that is how the idea of fashion evolved. Fashion means it started with covering your body with skins and other objects, and slowly developing into a very interesting field of designing with materials, different types of materials, and basically fabrics, and creating a discipline, entirely new discipline called fashion technology or fashion design. So it is a very, very important course. Generally these days, now it has moved on into rural areas also, but earlier mostly urban students would be studying fashion design and technology. But it has a subject which has got international appeal, because fashion world is a very, 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 very popular uh, in the international arena. And we know that Paris is considered the fashion capital of the world, and there are so many more regional fashion capitals in different parts of the world. In India, Bombay happens to be, or Mumbai happens to be, the fashion capital of India. So it is another very interesting course. Now, let me also tell you that many people think that fashion design is for only girls or women to study. It is not true. That's a very wrong notion. And we see that generally only girls want to study fashion design. Actually, it is very, very wrong. Fashion design, if you look at the fashion world, there are so many men who are excellent fashion designers. So it is a design discipline which is suited for both, because you need to understand the male and female needs, and accordingly learn to design clothing and accessories for them. So it is something very universal in nature, not necessary that it is only for girls. But in India especially, it is more women who go after this course. I don't know why. Less boys or less men go, but then anybody who has ever gone into this field have succeeded very well, because this is a field which is a highly creative field. So NIFT and NIFD are the two institutions in India which offer this course of fashion design and technology. And they connect themselves with various fashion shows and pageants, and train you into the world of fashion design. One important aspect of fashion design as a course is that, just like architecture or interior design, you can start on your own in a very small way. You may get a degree, and at your home you can start yourself, launch yourself as a designer. In olden days, there used to be a tailor. Tailor would fashion everything, but today tailoring is totally gone out of fashion. Nobody goes to a tailor now. It is to a designer that you go for getting your clothing designed, or unique kind of work done as attire or accessory. So in India, in our country, again, women are in the forefront of this, making use of fashion design course for self development and empowerment. You can say they start on their own. Many women start on their own after getting a degree in fashion design. Another aspect of fashion design, related but independent, is called textile design. Textile design is actually the designing of clothing, not actually dress, but the material itself. Not only for wearing, but say, for example, carpet design is part of textile design. Carpets, curtains, bed covers, pillow covers, and the weaving of fabric, making saris, or using silk to create fabric. This is called textile design. This is also a very interesting design field, where you have to start with basic drawing discipline, understanding of geometry, coloring, etc., excellent sense of color, so that you use this to create fabric designs like this: carpets, rugs, curtains, and so on. So textile designers get very good job in textile companies where fabrics are being created. All the designs which you see, fine designs which you see in a cloth material which you buy, say shirting material, trouser material, saris, etc., the drawing of whatever is to be printed in it or woven into it is done by textile designers. So this is textile design, and biggest advantage is that you can set up your own design center with looms and uh, sewing machines, etc., and create objects using different types of textiles. And Indian textiles are supposed to be the best in the world. Indian textile market is one of the largest market in the world, and producing variety of textiles for exports from our country. Our country has got one of the best textile manufacturing hubs. Then comes a relatively less looked up design field, but very exotic field called jewelry design. This is also, it's a very exotic field, and both men and women go into this. But this is a design field which involves very fine work. So you should have great interest in miniature objects, small objects, putting them together, weaving them together to create jewelry for human body, covering human body. And you always deal with very precious material, not necessarily precious. Today, there are designers who make use of very simple materials to produce exotic looking jewelry. So this is again a very specialized discipline, and you have to be very good in fine detailing. Microscopic eyes you have to have of designing and creating small minute objects, because jewelry is about putting together small objects together so that you can adorn the human body. Okay, you can see these examples, some of these examples, and you know, many of you who are interested in jewelry, you know, you always look at a jewelry with a lens because you want to see how fine the detailing is. So to become a jewelry designer, you have to have a very good eye for details, and especially drawing from nature, inspiration from nature, flowers, animals, birds, insects, and create miniature objects. You can say that it is part of product design, but it is more or less a specialization of product design. Jewelry design, you can say that it is specialization of product design. Then comes another very interesting design field into which very few people go, but they go after practicing as a designer for some time. This is called set design. You know, when movies are made, when films are made, most movies are shot outdoors, but a lot of activity happens in indoors also. When you make historical movies or movies with a theme, or movie which is like a world of dreams, you need to create sets. So sets are not permanent architecture or permanent interiors. They are temporary in nature. A set is created only for the purpose of shooting a film or a serial, or doing a photo op or whatever. So set is designed. When shooting is done, the set is dismantled or sold off, or dismantled to make some other set. But this also needs design. So this is a field into which mostly architects and product designers go into this field, because there is a lot of innovation required in set design, and a set lasts only for the time or duration of shooting of whatever the producers of the movie or whatever they want to do. After that, it is destroyed. So it's a discipline which emerged just about 100 or 150 years ago, when the film industry came into the existence. That's the time set design evolved. And most of the time it is architects and product designers who go into set design. Whenever you watch a movie, most of the time the interiors that you see in the movies, palaces, they're all created by architects and interior designers. Realistic and non-realistic. You have to have the capacity to create realism and non-realistic sets. You should have excellent control over art and craft to become a set designer. It has also become a very interesting discipline for event management. You know, the set design can also be used for event management. You know, if you attend weddings, you must have noticed that stages are designed these days, designed for the purpose. Weddings, pageant shows, contests. Even if when you see this singing contests and dance contests on TV, reality shows, you can see the set is designed. That set is designed by architects, or interior designers and product designers get together to design those sets for event management. Then comes a virtual field of design. In this virtual field, no material is used, only virtual material is used. That is computer-based design, called web design or animation design, using computer and computer programming to do designing in the virtual world of the screen. So one classic example is of, let us say, the Zoom platform. What is this platform? See, you are sitting at your home and I am talking to you. This is an example of web design. A product is created which is allowing us to look at each other, talk to each other, and communicate with each other. I can show you images But all this is not real. This is virtual. If everything is done in the digital world, nothing is existing. If you want to see it real, you have to take a printout. But without that, ever since computer world has developed, the concept of web design has developed, and it is becoming more and more popular. And today it has become an essential part of our life. Anything that you see, you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, or any of this, they are all part of web design initiatives. And for this also, you need a designer mind. You may not know, or you may know also, one of the earliest web designer or a designer is the one who made iPhone. Do you know who created iPhone? Anyone who knows?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yes. Steve Jobs he was a school dropout, but imagine the design of iPhone is done by him. He did not employ anybody. He designed everything right from the beginning. He was a good designer. He was a born designer. So the entire iPhone products and let us say Apple as a product, he started, and later iPhone came. Anything, including all the icons which you see in iPhones, they're all his designs. He was a wonderful visualizer. So visual sense he used, though he was a school dropout, he used all his visual sensibilities to create a wonderful, unique looking and usable product, which is the most popular product in the world today. So it is a very popular design discipline today. And but to go into this, you need to have very good sense of aesthetics and graphic design, understanding of fonts, letterings, different languages, how to make compositions using all of this in the virtual world. Okay. So website designs and portal designs, all these are done by web designers. So anytime you visit a website, anything that you do on the internet or on computer, be assured that the entire screen, anything that you see on a screen, every object or every icon which you see on a screen are designed by web designers with a very good sense of aesthetics, and presenting it on a small screen with minimal waste of surface and so on. So it's a very complicated discipline. So let's look at the profession as such. Why I am showing you all this is that don't stick to one idea that you want to do this. See your potential. Now that you have understood what is design, you have discovered your creative potentials, and you are making your portfolio. Take a look at all these disciplines and then decide whether I'm telling this not only to you, but also to your parents, that really take a decision on which is the best field for you. You have to decide that, not me, not your parents, but by discovering. So our objective of teaching you all this was to help you discover your capacity. And as you must have noticed, there's no formula anywhere here. There are no theories to be learned. It is all practice of your skills. So as a designer, you will work based on needs and opportunities which people give you. As a product designer, as a fashion designer, as an architect, and you should become capable of planning and creating artifacts, creating systems and environments. So this is a very complex field which you, over a period of time, you will learn. But the beginning is always with your skills. So which are the skills which are required to become any of this? We are talking about architecture, furniture, products, fashion, and so on. But all of these require these skills. And this is what we have been trying to teach you, freehand sketching skills. I have to tell you that every day, I don't know if you are doing it, because I see very few things uploaded and shown to us, but every day you should be doing at least 2 or 3 sketches, freehand sketches of objects, of environment, interior, outdoor, color sketches, pencil sketches, different material tool, that freehand sketching skills, drawing skills, craft skills. You should be making things, color handling skills, and of course a visionary mind. In addition to this, computing skills also, though you may not have developed that, but then computing skills are also very, very essential. It is to introduce you to some computing skills that I told you, to make a portfolio, a digital portfolio, so that you learn Photoshop, Microsoft Paint, and PowerPoint, and all these tools, computing tools you must know. Then it will come AutoCAD, SketchUp, Revit. There are so many softwares which are used by designers. You will have to learn all this. And believe me, nobody will teach you all this in college. When you join college, they will give you all these platforms. They will give you some instructions, but the learning has to be entirely on your own. They will help you to learn, but practice you have to do. So practicing becomes very, very important. And that is what you are doing now. And I expect you to voluntarily do this work and upload for us to see, for me to see, for ma'am to see, so that we can comment on how your skill is developing, and keep adding whatever you do to your portfolio. So I'll just briefly tell you something about different aptitude tests. You may know already about all this, but just to add, JEE architecture for IITs, NITs, and SPA. SPA stands for School of Planning and Architecture. NIT is National Institute of Technology. IITs are Indian Institute of Technology. So if you appear for JEE and you clear, you get admissions here. Now they are also planning to go for NATA test as well. NATA is another test which was created basically for all the other schools of architecture in India. But now there is an option which is thrown open also, that you can qualify in either of the two or in both. But basically both these tests are only to test your skills and your visual knowledge. So if you qualify in this, you are eligible for admission. But now this is a big but which you must remember. Everything depends upon your +2 score also. So do not ignore, don't sacrifice your +2 study. That is the most important thing. The higher you score in your +2 examination, added with the skills, whatever skills that you are learning, you will definitely get admission, including IITs, NITs, SPA. That should be your first choice. Your first choice should be to get admission into IITs, NITs, or SPA. And then for any other school of architecture in your town. Because IITs, NITs, and SPAs are world-renowned schools of architecture. If you are there, just that name is enough for you to find professional standing or admissions to other institutes anywhere in the world. So take your JEE exams pretty seriously. They are quite similar to NATA, but even then try to get, if you get admission in any of this, you should actually blindly go. I have seen many children or parents not allowing children to go to distant places, but then the best education happens in IITs, NITs, and SPAs. You can take it from me. So in those tests, in NATA test and IIT JEE test and all that, you know, it is drawing test, which is temporarily suspended in NATA, I suppose, but it is there in JEE. Drawing test they have to take because they have to know whether you are good at drawing or not. So that is why I have been telling you, even if they are not taking a physical drawing test, they will ask you for a portfolio when you go for admission. Definitely. They have been asking, many schools are asking since last year, please come with your portfolio, show your portfolio, your sketchbooks, or send your PDF portfolio and so on. This is why last time we had a session on portfolio making. I hope you will keep on updating your portfolio, renewing your portfolio, and keep adding more and more good things that you are doing. What is tested is your understanding of shadows, your understanding of object proportions, your sense of perspective drawing, how to combine and different elements, two-dimensional, etc., to create a composition, create a built form, structural form, and creating visual harmony using colors. So these are all different skills which are tested in real-time drawing or coloring examination, which has stopped, but which may suddenly start next year. If pandemic is solved, then again they will start, because there is no real test for admission to design course other than testing you for drawing and sketching skills. So it may start again. So that's the reason, whether it is there or not, you must continue to build your portfolio. So scale and proportions, drawing from memory through pencil sketch, themes from day-to-day experiences. I have been telling you this. Don't wait for topics. Create your own topics. Sketch anything, any object in your surroundings. Spare 1 hour every day to do some creative work and add that to your portfolio. This has to be your principle from today onwards. Spare 1 hour every day to do something and make it part of your portfolio. In the aesthetic sensitivity test, which are in the old, before the pandemic, it used to be a written test, but now that is what has become online test. In online exam, you have to just click the answers. That's what you have been doing in quiz. You are just clicking the answer, what you think is correct, but that's the way it is going to be. That's the way it is. So when you do NID entrance, it is for, there used to be only one NID, that is National Institute of Design. That was Ahmedabad. But today there are 5 of them: Ahmedabad, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Assam, and Madhya Pradesh. Please visit their websites. All of you visit all the NID websites. You will be able to see that department. You will be able to know who the faculty are and what are the disciplines offered there. You will notice that product design is not just a course. It is not called product design. It has got several parts to it. There are several departments after you get a product design admission, NID course or UCED course. Once you go there, there will be several departments, and they will not immediately give you admission to a department. First, there will be something called a foundation course. The first year or the first semester will be foundation course, and your teachers, professors will observe you how you are faring in that foundation course. What are you good at? And they will encourage you to take up a field in which you show talent. You may show talent in animation, you may show talent in exhibition, you may show talent in filmmaking or video making, graphic design. So the first year in all these schools are basically foundation course. Then you can decide which faculty you will join. Communication design means animation, exhibition, film and video, graphic design, so on. Industrial design means ceramic design, glass design. See, product design itself has got so many different divisions: ceramic design, glass design, furniture design, interior design, product design, and so on. NID has now started offering courses in textile design also. You may think textile happen to be part of fashion design, but if you do product design exam, you may be able to get admission in textile and apparel design, which is a new department in NIDs and even in IITs. So apparel lifestyle design, it is an offshoot of fashion design. Though it is there in fashion design schools also, but now it is started. They have started doing this in NIDs also. When it comes to NIFT entrance exam, those who want to give NIFT entrance exam, again, it is, you can see it is called design aptitude test and general aptitude tests. Nowhere it says it is fashion. Though admission is towards fashion technology, the examination is called design aptitude test. And it is again to test your visual knowledge, the way we have been giving you a test. General aptitude test is general knowledge. These days, apart from design aptitude test, their examiners are also focusing on your general knowledge, your knowledge about the politics of the world, your knowledge about the world happenings, knowledge about climate change and film world. So it is general knowledge also is now becoming an important part of the aptitude test to architecture or fashion design or product design, everything. So general aptitude test. And because it is online and because it is multiple choice, you are expected to know the correct answer, and or you can even guess the correct answer and click on the answer. Okay, in NIFT, when you go, once again, it is not called anymore fashion design course. You will notice it was called BFA, Bachelor of Fashion Applications and all that earlier. But now it has changed. They have changed the design title to BDES. Again, it's called BDES, in fashion design. It's not called Bachelor of Fashion Design, but it is called Bachelor of Design in Fashion, Bachelor of Design in Leather, Bachelor of Design in Accessory, Bachelor of Design in Textile, and Bachelor of Design in Knitwear Design, and Fashion Communication and Apparel Production. So they are also innovating in the way because the moment you call it a BDES course, it has universal appeal. You can go anywhere to any institute for higher studies. You can start any kind of business. It is not just called fashion. Earlier, when it was called Bachelor of Fashion Design, then you can't do anything. You have to do only fashion. But when it is called Bachelor of Design, in brackets fashion design, it means that you can do fashion also, but other things are also you are taught as part of a NIFT course. It is not just fashion. So as I told you, there is something called foundation program, which is happening in NIFT and it is also happening in NID. Usually it is a 2-semester foundation program. And the program is designed to foster the creativity, sensitivity, and skills. And you are sensitized to fundamentals of fashion business in case of fashion design. In case of product design, they will do fundamentals of product design, technology, and management. So in our socio-cultural perspective, that is in our country, in other countries, what is the meaning of fashion in other country and in our country and so on. So this is called foundation program, and you are given a lot of options for developing skills. See, we are giving you only 2 or 3 options: sketching, coloring skills, and making skills. This is what we are teaching you. But once you join, you will have to learn so many other skills. Many, you have to learn welding, you have to learn carpentry, you have to learn cutting, you have to learn stitching, knitting. Whether you are a boy or girl is immaterial. You have to learn welding and, different type of tool handling and material handling you'll have to learn to become a designer in any of these disciplines. And the latest entrance examination to start in the field of design is called UCEED, which is started by IITs. You see, earlier there was, I told you, Bachelor of Design course only in IIT Bombay. But when all the other IITs wanted to start this course, they decided to have a separate entrance examination exclusive for IIT admissions for design course. So then they started what is known as UCEED. This started only a few years ago, couple of years, 7 or 8 years ago. It's called UCEED entrance, or Undergraduate Common Entrance Examination for Design. It's called a Common Entrance Examination for Design. So it was there only in Bombay, IIT Bombay, but now it is there in IIT Guwahati, IIT Hyderabad, and in Institute of Information Technology in Jaipur, which is specialized in design and manufacturing. So these are the main institutes which give admission only through UCEED entrance. And then there are other institutes also. They share the UCEED result. All these institutes and colleges all over India, if you have a UCEED score, supposing you don't get an admission in IIT, you don't have to worry, you don't have to feel sad. You can apply to any of these with UCEED score. They will give you admission without any other test. UCEED score is enough for admission to World University of Design in Haryana, UPS School of Design in Dehradun. Make a note of all this. These are all very, very important universities. So don't feel sad that you did not get in NIFT or NID, or these are all excellent schools. Though they are private, fees may or may not be high. You may get scholarship, but they are all fairly well developed schools of design. You can visit their websites and try to know more and more about them. Then there are so many in, you see, 2020 they started. So many schools of design are there, which are affiliated to UCEED exam. They give admission based on UCEED results for BDES courses. All these schools have started BDES course. Okay. So thank you very much.